Welcome back to part 2 of my series looking at the latest hammer balls. Today we're talking about none other than the Black Widow Ghost Pearl, and as an added bonus we're going to take a look at the Black Widow Viz-A-Ball. Let's take it to the intro. I practically don't need a video on this ball because it's been selling itself, but for the sake of consistency, we're going to do it. But man, I mean, this ball just had honor score after honor score from our staff players when they got their hands on it before its release. And now that it's out to public, they just keep rolling them out. 300s, 800s, almost every day on the Hammer Facebook page. I'm going to post a few here. They're going to scroll by. I don't even think this accounts for like a fraction of the honor scores that have probably been rolled with this ball, but just as an example of how successful it's been, here they are. And while we're looking at those, we're going to take a look at the gas mask core. Of course, this is the iconic core. We don't even need to say that much about it. I mean, it is one of the most successful, if not the most successful core in history. It just continues to impress no matter what cover stock you wrap around it. Fine-tuning it with the latest cover chemistry is always fan favorite because they just can't get enough of the way this ball rolls, and adding a newer, stronger, better, more angular, more whatever cover to it just seems to make it all that much better. So just as a quick reminder, 250 RG on this ball, an 058 total differential, which means it's going to have a ton of hook. That's about as much track flare as you can get now with the new USB-C limits. And of course, moderate to high intermediate differential of 0.016 means that this one's going to shape just a little more than the 13 intermediate diff that you find on the Obsession series. Of course, like all of Hammer's performance balls, this one's wrapped in carbon fiber infusion with the outer core. That means that it's got a little bit of carbon fiber in the mix to strengthen the rigidity of the outer core material. That's going to give you more hitting power, and all of this is wrapped in Aggression Pearl. You'll know the Aggression nameplate from the Web series. It was just out again in this exact formula in the Web Pearl. Now, of course, with this core cover combo, you're going to get a little more shape, a little more mid lane, a little more back end, a little more everything. You're going to give yourself a little similar amount of length, but more mid lane, more back end out of this ball than the Web Pearl. And before we take you to the comparison chart, I'm just going to throw the Black Widow Viz-A-Ball up here. This is really cool. This is marrying two technologies that have never been put together before. This is brand new in the Hammer lineup. You have the actual gas mask inner core that is in all of the iconic Black Widow balls. I said gas mask balls. All of the iconic Black Widow balls, including the new 2.0 and the new Ghost Pearl. But this time it's wrapped in a standard plastic cover that has the Viz-A-Ball screen printing on it. So basically, you've got the amazing looks of the Viz-A-Ball series, but it's got a performance core in it. So this one is just true plastic. It's not got anything fancy to it. It's not got any texturing. It's not got any surface. It's gonna do plastic ball things, albeit you could probably use this on absolutely toasted, absolutely burnt, dry, maybe wood lanes or something as a strike ball, worst case scenario, but this is certainly a spare ball. Very cool to have the gas mask in it though. So without further delay, let's go to the comparison chart and take a look at how the Widow Ghost stacks up with the rest of the current Hammer lineup. As you know, this chart contains every release in the 2021 Hammer lineup. They're sorted by oil volume on the bottom and top to bottom from sharpest responding balls to smoothest responding balls. Our Black Widow Ghost and our Black Widow Viz-A-Ball are highlighted in yellow. The Black Widow Ghost is built to handle a medium-heavy amount of total oil volume. It is a compounded finish, so it's going to glide easier through the fronts and not be quite as aggressive as the Black Widow 2.0 by nature. And of course, this one is built with a sharp but not super angular back-end motion. The natural length that you get out of this cover at the pearlized state with its compounded finish is definitely going to be cleaner through the fronts, and I think that you don't have huge jerk off the friction, you have more of a sweeping motion. That is what that gas mask core does best. It gives you the best balance of mid-lane control but back-end motion, and I think that's why you just see successful release after successful release with this core. It's sharp without being angular, if that makes any sense. It's like a combination of like a strong mid-lane and a sweeping back-end motion. It doesn't quit, but it doesn't surprise you either. Compared to a like-drilled Web Pearl, this one has the exact same cover stock, so of course the difference is in the intermediate diff and the total flare potential of the core systems. They both have those pucks in them. The web puck is just a little bit bigger than the ghost puck, but that ghost core has that intermediate diff that makes the ball get off the mid lane a little more abruptly. So all things told, at the same cover and same finish, the ghost is going to be equally clean, but it's going to be more decisive in the mid lane and slightly sharper at the back of the lane overall. That's going to result in a little more overall hook and a little more, I would say, versatility on fresher patterns. You're going to be able to throw this one on more medium heavy stuff, more fresh stuff when the back ends are clean. And certainly this ball is going to be versatile because it's also going to be super useful in breakdown. If you bowl on a little more of a flood or you have a little less rev rate than some other players, then you can easily start with your Black Widow 2.0 or even an Infamous and make your way down to the ghost when the mids start to burn up or the fronts start to hook a little too much. You can open up the launch angle just a little bit with the ghost and watch it bounce off the friction without being snappy. And like I said, it's just been scoreable, 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 the right balance of predictable and sharp. So this one's almost a must-have staple. Right in the center of your bag, you can put a high ASIM like a Black Widow Ghost or an Obsession above it. You can put a cleaner ASIM like an Obsession Tour Pearl or a WebMB below it, and you have a beautiful asymmetrical arsenal all set up. Alright, that's it for my take on the Black Widow Ghost, the ball that's been selling itself with all the high scores. If you have one, make sure you drop a line in the comments, let me know how you're doing with it, how it's fitting in your arsenal. And if you haven't picked one up yet, make sure you run to your local pro shop and do that because you're going to get beat by one. It's a matter of time because this ball is scoring. I'm super excited for all the things we have coming in the 2022 lineup for Hammer, but this is going to do it for the 2021 lineup. So in the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe to Bowling Buckosh on Facebook and YouTube, and drop a comment if you haven't already. I'm happy to respond whenever I have free time. I'm going to catch you in 2022 where I'm going to have more news about the Hammer lineup. So until next time, see you in the next video.